Today's going to be a little bit of a different sort of video than you might be used to here at the Petrol List. And firstly, I would like to thank you guys for watching it. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment and all that kind of stuff. I did something the other day that I thought that I would never ever do. I kind of told myself that I would never ever do, and I did it anyway. And that is, I deleted a video due to poor performance, and that's kind of a big deal, and here's why. And just a disclaimer, I put the video back up. It was the one where I said something like, is Max Verstappen's 2025 season already ruined? And it went on to talk about, car development, and if he wanted to go to another team, that window is closed. But it was one of my worst viewed videos, so I took it down. But that really made me think about, what is the purpose of the Petrol List channel anyway? Why did I start the channel? And so I figured I would give you just a little bit of history of the Petrol List and kind of where I want to go moving forward into 2025. I figured now is the best time to do this because it's the beginning of the year. So anyway, so I started the Petrol List September 21st of 2023, so 516 days if anybody's counting. And my first video, I was in my garage and I was sitting in front of my Miata. Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Dalton from the Petrol List, and this is the Petrol List podcast. I know it kind of looks like a video, but who's counting? And I didn't know what I was going to talk about on the Petrol List, but a little bit of background about me. I had a failed digital car magazine where I wrote articles, just car articles, just stuff that came to the top of my mind. But here's the thing, not a whole lot of people are like reading a lot of articles anymore. It's all gone to video, and I love to do photography. I love to write. I love cars, and I'm a little bit of an artist as well. So I was like, hey, what can I do to kind of like fulfill all those creative things that I like to do? And I was like, well, right now in this modern era, people like videos. And since then, I've done 130 videos. They've gotten 38,000 views. And a bunch of likes and comments and all that kind of stuff, which is great. And then, also, if I say, what's up, dudes, fellas, my audience is like 97% male. So for the three women in the audience, probably one is my wife and probably another is my mom. For all of you guys, girls, thanks for watching as well. But I deleted that video because I saw that the performance wasn't that great. And I had actually gotten kind of consumed with performance, because in the last couple of weeks, some of the videos that I put out there, I was like, oh, it's got 400 views or 500 views, and I got kind of fascinated, captivated by those numbers. And when I saw one that only did like 40 views, I was like, well, I don't want that up there. But there's a danger to that. There's a danger to doing that, because say I put up a video, and as long as it's not, complete garbage, because I will delete a video if it's complete garbage. But if it is a decent video and it just doesn't do well, then I was keeping it up. But I was like, well, I want the views, and I don't want the algorithm to see a poorly performing video on my channel and then squash my reach in the future. So I thought I would get rid of the evidence of poor performance. But the danger with that is kind of like what I call the content funnel, and it's like the funneling of content all into one nebulous form of the same opinion. So in a non-algorithm world, and I'll call it non-algo. In a non-algo world, hopefully I don't hit my coffee. I keep notes on this little whiteboard, by the way. So sometimes when I'm glancing over, I'm not gonna lie, I do that. In a non-algo world, if only 25% of the population agrees with your opinion, then yeah, you'll get 25% of whatever views and stuff. But in an algo world, not only do you see people that don't agree, the algorithm sees that this video isn't performing as well as some of your other videos, and it's not performing as well as other videos of the same genre. And so instead of getting, 25% of the views that you would have gotten, you get like 10% of the views that you would have gotten. Now, don't hold me directly to that math. I don't work for, the Googs or the Tubes. So I don't know exactly the percentages and stuff, but hopefully that makes sense. It's that when you chase views and you chase, numbers and performance, you start to cater your opinion and your content to what is going to get more numbers versus what is true to you, because you don't want your reach to be strangled. Now, there are a couple of ways to combat that, and I want to highlight three main ways. One, as a content viewer, don't rage unsubscribe a content creator because they've said something that you disagree with, because that tells that content creator that they should always only say things that you agree with. And then if all content creators get together and only make content that everybody agrees with, then everybody's content eventually starts to look the same. So don't rage unsubscribe. Yeah, you can give it an unlike, you can put a negative comment or whatever. That's fine. But don't train content creators to only agree with what you think or agree with, the mainstream takes. Now, if we're going to be talking about Max Verstappen, I think he's a great driver. Could I debate, some different GOATs? Yeah, I could, but that's a different video. The other thing is on the, it's the responsibility of the content creator, and you should only create the content that you're passionate about. Create the content that you're interested in, because that is really that energy that you give off when you're creating the content. People are going to vibe with that. So I actually look back in my last 516 days of creating content in my top 3 videos. My top 3 videos are the interview that I did with the 1968 Mercury Cougar, and that one got 2,600 views. The next one was the kind of news story that I did about the Hyundai N Vision. That one got 2,400 views. And then the third one in the last 560 days was one I did on the Brazilian GP. So the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's before I got some of the, fancy lighting and fancy sound, and I was still trying to kind of figure out what I wanted the channel to look like. But I was very relaxed, and I was just kind of talking about how the Brazilian GP was it was more of a battle of attrition than a race, because people kept crashing out. And that was when I think Charles Leclerc had the problems with his hydraulics. And that brings me into just a little bit more about, myself. I'm a car guy. I'm really passionate about cars, and I'm passionate about motorsports. I'm a race car driver. I'm a track day enthusiast. I probably don't do either very well, but, I love doing it, and I do a lot of, sim racing and stuff. And so if I add all that together and put that into the videos that I'm really comfortable and really passionate about making, I end up, and the numbers prove it, I end up, doing a decent job. So what am I going to do in 2025? Well, the Petrol List is going to continue. But I think that I'm going to focus more on the things that I'm really passionate about, because again, that energy comes across the camera. And, I couldn't think of a better spread of my top performing videos, because even before I looked at the analytics, I was like, I want to do more car interviews. Those are super hard to come by. You have to schedule. It's more than just me in my studio. Luckily, I know a lot of car guys in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so, hey, if you're listening or watching, hit me up. I'd probably love to talk to you about your car. It takes like a half hour. I don't know. Anyway, so the car interviews, and then the Hyundai Envision, that was car news. And so I sat in my studio and I was talking about what I thought about the new Hyundai Envision. And, I'm passionate about that stuff. And then I'm really good, pat myself in the back, I'm really good at talking about actual Formula One races and analyzing the races and, giving my 2 cents about the races. What I'm not so good about is the backstories, like Formula One off season. I can tell you right now, there are other channels that do the backstories and the rumor mills and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I watch that stuff. I watch that stuff sometimes and I'm entertained by it, but I'm not passionate enough about the Formula One backstories to, I think, do really, really impressive and effective videos on it. I'll call them out by name. There's Law VS. There's Cameron F1. There's Tired GP. I think they're all British. I think I'm one of the few Americans in the F1 YouTube space that is like super, super into it. But there are other channels that do Formula One backstories better than I do. But I can tell you that on those channels, they don't really do a lot of, car news and car interviews. And so, when you're doing this kind of thing, it's imperative that you understand what you're good at and that you capitalize on what you're good at. Because, at the end of the day, it's about being known well. So you don't want to necessarily just be well known by the masses. You want to be known well by the people who, like those things that you're passionate about, by the people who need your help in life. I'm not talking about YouTube videos, but being known well. And also, of course, being known well by God. Yeah, it got deep. But this is, it's not the standard car video. It's just kind of an observation that I made, and I thought it was worth sharing. So I will see you in future videos, and I'm still deciding if I'm going to make Formula One off-season videos or not. If there's some really strong news, then yeah, sure, I'll make a video on it. But if not, maybe I look more at, some of the car news and stuff that I'm passionate about, and I save the Formula One stuff for the actual races, because I am actually passionate about the races, the actual Grand Prix. All right, that's it. This was kind of an off-the-wall video, not my standard video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And please feel free to leave some comments. Like, what kind of stuff are you guys interested in? What kind of things are you interested in that you think I would present well? Yeah, that. All right. Well, anyway, I've been Dalton. This has been the Petrol List, and you have been great. I'm out.